last weekend there was a Forge World open day, and on that open day they actually opened up the box for the first time, and a lucky YouTuber was able to film it by the name of Super Cyan, and sort of he showed off the unboxing of the kits, showing off all the different ways you can assemble the warlords and the knights that you get inside there, and giving us a little bit more of an overview of what you get inside the box and stuff, which was really cool. Of course, as part of that, they also showed off some really nice stuff on their blog over the weekend as well, so you can see one of the painted Warlord Titans there, as well as some of the Imperial Knights as well that are serving as part of your force that you get in that box, which I thought was really neat. The models are looking fantastic. I think actually in the comments below, some people linked through to some of the interesting scale shots of them as well. But as I said in the post for this is going to probably be the only time that a lot of people can actually afford to buy themselves a Warlord Titan. Rather than remortgaging their house, they just have to spend a little bit of money to pick up some of these smaller scale ones instead, which is really cool. There's going to be loads of accessories and everything in there as well, which is really neat. One of the interesting things they talked about as well is some of the expansion content they have planned for the future. So I know a lot of people were talking about the fact that they're not going to get things like Reavers and stuff in the box, but I believe that Reavers, as you can see in one of the pictures below, are going to be coming out later as an additional piece. You'll get all the accessories and all the bits and pieces you need to use them on the tabletop, which is really cool. And Forge World are also going to be doing a whole bunch of different terrain tiles for you to use as well. So if you want to have something that is all scale appropriate for what you're doing with your stuff for Adeptus Titanicus, that's going to be coming very, very soon as well, which is really neat. And they have loads of interesting plans for really neat terrain pieces like mag rail trains and factories and all kinds of different things like that as well, which is really cool. So if you like the idea of delving into a little bit of large-scale mecha combat effectively in the grim dark future of Warhammer 40,000 and the Horus Heresy, you've got some really cool things coming your way for Adeptus Titanicus, which is neat. So yeah.
The very idea of Titans on the battlefield is what draws people to them. I mean, like, I remember, whenever we went to the Battlefront open day, we had a little time in the evening when we landed, so I took Colin and John to Warhammer World. Yeah. I remember John's face whenever we walked into the Forge World store and he saw the Warlord Titan for the first time, because he had never seen one before. So we walk in and it's just like, oh, wow, this is really nice. And I don't know, there was like some pull from the warp. John just got dragged into the Forge World store, and then he's standing in front of the Warlord Titan and going, "Oh, I didn't realize that you were the size of a 5-year-old." Wow,
I've never actually seen one of these either. Now
they're that bloody tall off the table. They're huge. I kid you not. I mean, like,
I want to see that fighting the Cthulhu from Death May Die we saw last week.
Awesome.
Yeah.
With the child in the middle.
With the child in the middle, the battle for the toddler.
Yeah, well, no, you put the toddler in the referee's vest. Ready, fight!
Yeah, now, the thing that has me most excited about this, actually, is you were mentioning different terrain ideas and accessories there, Ben. Now, we get told that the Warhammer 40k universe is epic and vast all the time, and how there's cities spanning entire planets. But when you're playing it on the table, quite often you don't get the feel for that scale. Actually, the closest I think that gets to conveying that scale is when you go down a bit smaller to like Necromunda, and you see the
inner workings of Hive.
Yeah. So seeing that from the outside now with this new scale, I'm really excited to see what people come up with.
We see Necromunda did it really well for me, because whenever you pick up the core set in the core rulebook, there's a bit of a story at the start, and it actually describes really well just the actual scale and how a hive is divided down.
That's cool.
Whenever you're coming to something like Titanicus, whenever you're playing Titans, I mean, I know there are some guys out there who are crazy, who have their demi-legions and stuff, and they play on like a 36 by 24 foot gaming mat. And they have maybe like 25 grand's worth of miniatures on the floors. Yeah, there was one, I think, that recently, I think they had like 6 warlords, 8 reavers, and a crap load of warhounds.
Oh my god.
Yeah, it was.
I could remortgage the house for that.
Yeah, exactly. But Titanicus, I'm looking forward to, because the very concept of the god machines walking to war. I mean, like, I've listened to audiobooks, I've read books from Black Library, and whenever you hear about these things moving and shifting, it's just incredible. I mean, like, one of my favourites has to be the Iron Warriors omnibus.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's the Iron Warriors, the initial story in it is them coming into a planet with a citadel and laying siege to this citadel. But they've actually got a few Titans with them. and whenever it describes one of them being dropped, what Chaos has done is they've actually captured a Tyranid hive ship, corrupted it, and basically the Dark Mechanicus has actually infected it. So this thing becomes a carrier. So they're using a hive ship which lands, and then you have this massive ship just splitting in two just to drop this Titan, and then you hear the thing walking out in an epic fashion.
That is how to make an entrance.
Yeah.
If you
And they were
want an
fashionably
interesting-
late, I tell you now.
if you want an interesting sense of the scale of them as well, if you play the Space Marine game that came out on 360 and PC and stuff a couple of years ago,
Yeah.
there's a bit where you can actually go into one of the facilities and you actually have to fight around one of the Titans, which is just insane. And it gives you a real idea of exactly how big they are and kind of like the destructive power that they have and stuff as well. So that's a very cool idea for it.
Yeah, I've actually been replaying that recently. It is
It's a cool
still
game.
just as fun as ever. I love what John has been doing. John has been grabbing mods for the game left, right, and center, which I find hilarious. He linked me a video, and just someone did a voice mod, and they also did a skin mod, so it was a Blood Angel rocking around with two Ultramarines.
Yeah.
And the voice lines do not match up to the dialogue, whatever. So you walk into the bunker, when you meet the Imperial Guard commander for the first time?
Yeah.
And she says, you've arrived. And all you hear from the Space Marine is, "It is the Baneblade!" And you're just sat there, pissing yourself laughing, and you don't know why. It's great. Absolutely fabulous.
Fair enough. I've actually got that game knocking around. I'm going to have to dig it out as well.
I mean, I picked it up recently on the Steam summer sales. It was down to like £3.
Oh, I got it for like £2 at CEX. Okay.